Welcome back to another episode of Fox and Fix It. My daughter has decided she does not like the push bar on Bruce, which is what she has named my 1987 Dodge Ram 50. And since this is probably going to be her first car, at least until used car prices come back from ridiculous to normal, I might as well take it off. I have to paint it anyway, so if I want to put it back on once it's cleaned up, I will. But for now, we're going to take that off today. Alright, now that we got that push bar out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and take the time to take this bumper off, straighten out the bumper brackets, and that way the bumper will be on there straight and level, and other synonyms for straight and level. All right, here are the brackets that are bent or at least pulled out of shape. I'm not sure which one. So we're gonna take these off, remount these to the truck, and then I will hold this bumper up in place and see which way these are tweaked and which way we need to bend them with a hammer. All right, got the bumper brackets off and I was gonna put them back on, but if you notice, the threads on this bolt or stud have been stripped, so I need to rethread this first. This is not the best angle to see this, but this is the best one I've got right now. This is 10 by 1.25, it's metric because Japan, which I've got. So now we're going to take this and try to get it started by hand, and hopefully we'll be able to cut some threads back onto here so this actually does something instead of just looks like it holds a bolt. There we go. And in case you're wondering, I'm going to use a crescent wrench, but it is dual purpose. It is metric on this side, 250 millimeters, and on this side it is standard 10-inch. So we can use this for both. I'm just putting light pressure with my thumb on the outside of this just to help it get started, because if I push really hard with my thumb, I'm going to cut threads into my thumb, which I don't want. Actually, it might be kind of cool, but it's an experiment for another day. If I run into any burrs or if it gives me any trouble, what you do is you back off and you clean it up and you go forward again. This one seems to be pretty smooth, which means there's probably not much cutting being done, but it might clean it up just enough to make this worthwhile. Ideally, I would use a socket on this so I'm not putting pressure on one side or the other and cutting these threads at an angle, but that's ideally. This is not ideally. This is ideally, as in I daily fix things. All right, bottomed out, back it off. There's not a ton of thread left on that, but if you look, you can tell that that is way better than before, and that's actually going to be doing something instead of just looking like a bolt or stud or whatever you want to call it. It's got threads, is what I'm saying. Something like that. The nut with the good threads we'll put on this side, and we'll pick the nut with the bad threads and we'll put on the other side. That way they'll both clean each other up, maybe. In my head, that sounds good. All right, this is gonna be fairly difficult to see, but the top of this, as you can see, is sort of twisted out this way, and that's what's pulling the top of this bumper out. So we're gonna pound on the top of this and shove it back that way. Which hammer should we use? Dead blow or drilling hammer? This one's heavier. We're gonna go here. I think we bent that back in a fair amount. So now I need to do the other side, and then we'll put the bumper on and see what happens. That looks much better. Are lined up. That's pretty much straightened out. Looking at this bumper, it looks like crap. So I think now I'm going to scuff it and spray paint it because it's nice out. And once the weather turns cold, I won't be able to spray paint it. I'm not going to do anything too drastic, not like grinding wheel or anything like that. It's okay, not great. So we're just going with a couple different Scotch-Brites, just enough to scuff it and put a fresh coat of shiny black paint on it. Scuffed up and wiped down with acetone. There's a couple other dents and dings in the bumper where it hit things over time. I got most of them out. There's a dent in this corner that I can't get out that has deformed that a little bit. Not a big deal, nothing I can do. I do not have any Rust-Oleum, but I do have high gloss engine paint. It's gonna be close enough. Got a nice shiny coat of paint on this bumper. It's going to look pretty much brand new, except for the dent that now stands out even more. But we might be able to actually pound that out a little bit from the backside. But a nice fresh coat of shiny black paint. You can see where the push bar was attached. Right there and right there. There's not really much we can do about it. They drilled extra holes in it. Maybe I'll put some plastic GM like trim plugs in it or something. I've got a couple of those laying around. So I did take the push bar off because my daughter didn't like it on Bruce. I don't know where the name came from, but sure, whatever. But I like fog lights. Let's be honest, we all do. So with the loss of fog lights on the push bar, what I'm thinking is I can get LED fog lights and put them into here. There's already an attachment point on this side, and I could probably make a little sheet metal bracket off of the bumper bracket and have, it looks like maybe an 8 to 10 inch LED on each side here and here. I'm gonna measure this and see what kind of LEDs I can get to put in there. That way we can still have fog lights because fog lights are great. It's been a few hours. This bumper's had a chance to dry. I got it put back on. Let's take a look at how it came out. I'm not sure if it was flat black or gloss black from the factory, but what I had was gloss black, so that's what it is now. Came out pretty good, I think. The only thing I don't like is right here in this corner. After I snugged everything back up, that popped out, so that's still bent. I'll see if I can get that a little bit better later on, but the big thing I was worried about was this body line, which is not perfect, but much better than it was right here. It's no longer touching the fender. And we don't have the push bar on it. Came out on this side, nice and straight, or straight-ish. It's not bad. And I went ahead and just kept the AAA sticker, threw some grease on top of it because I didn't feel like peeling it off of there. It kind of looks cool. Plus it would have been more trouble than it's worth. That's gonna do it for today. No more push bar on the front of this, but we're working on some fog lights right there. So probably when we do that, you'll see it right here. So until then, we'll see you next time.